Speaking of Mr. Tack, it is that time for my response to a tweet. And today's tweet says, "Keep counting Trump out. It's your loss. He was president comeback in the room." Wow. Keep counting out Trump. It is your loss. He was president comeback in the room. Wow. Of course, this is referencing the debate with debate number 2, round 2, Hillary Clinton and her counterpart, Count Trumpula. But anyway, blood-sucking vampire. I'm sorry. That shouldn't even have went there. But here's this is how I'm going to respond to your tweet. You guys, yet again, you're proving that you're not looking at this thing, in my opinion, the productive way. Yes, there was something in the room last night, but it wasn't president comeback. What I've seen in that room last night, there were two major things that stuck out to me. There was an elephant in the room. Of course, nobody wants to acknowledge. And there was a gorilla in the room too, that nobody wants to acknowledge. See, the elephant that was in the room was covered up by Donald Trump spewing Hillary's judgment. Do you notice he keeps alluding back to Bernie Sanders? That's just a ploy to be pandering to Bernie Sanders supporters, because he's given up on conservatives. Conservatives, you're done. You conservatives are going to come to his side. And so you're going to Jesus cover up anything to deal with his morality or anything like that. So the conservatives, the Constitution, stuff like that, you're done. He's done, folk. He's done with you guys. He's on Bernie Sanders supporters now. But the elephant in the room was covered up by him saying her judgment. Her judgment. Bernie Sanders said her judgment. Now, think about this. Here's the elephant in the room that you don't want to address. All the media people kissing Donald Trump's butt, conservatives selling you out, Christian pastors selling you out. This is what they don't want to address about her judgment. Her judgment was good enough for his money. Her judgment was good enough for his support. Her judgment was good enough for his endorsements. If you want to say Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton because of Benghazi, he endorsed her and paid for and helped her after Benghazi. Her judgment was good enough for that. But he keeps saying her judgment. See, that's the elephant in the room that you guys don't want to address. Is Donald Trump is Hillary Clinton's #1 fan. See, you let him to cover up the elephant. Look at another elephant. The elephant, I'm telling you, was big. It's almost like Ringling Brothers up in that joker. Donald Trump's talking about the tax return thing. Looting the Bernie Sanders and things of this nature. Think about it from this standpoint, people. First of all, Donald Trump has very little understanding of how this thing works, and you want him to lead it. She is one senator. Not one senator on this planet can go change the tax code. But here's the bigger part of the elephant. Here's the elephant dung. And I could use another word. The elephant dung to Donald Trump's assertion that she could have changed the tax code. Here's the crap. That's not what he represented her or paid her or funded her or sponsored her or protected her, endorsed her. That's not what he sent her to the Senate to do. He didn't, him and his buddy George Soros that he tried to make seem so separate, like George Soros is on another part of the world than Donald Trump. This is what Donald Trump does. He supports politicians so that they can go in there and do favors for him. So he's being very disingenuous by making you believe that Hillary Clinton could have did something to tax code. That's not what he funded her to go do. So the question is this. At what time and what place, Donald, show us where you have just developed this utter hatred for the person that you support more than anybody in the history, in the 30 years of politics. You probably referred George Soros to her while you're trying to make it seem all separate. When did you start hating her so much? See, it's even proven at the end of the debate. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to go there yet. Let's address the gorilla in the room. The elephant is her judgment. You know what the gorilla was? His judgment. His judgment is that thing that none of you butt kissers want to address. Donald Trump has horrible judgment. I'll give you an example. Not only his lack of understanding how the Senate works. Donald Trump's judgment says that if I become the president of the United States, I am going to direct my attorney general to go after her. This is his judgment. This is that gorilla in the room. That judgment is asinine. Here's why. Because didn't you guys complain about Barack Obama using the arms of the government to go after his political enemies? Isn't that what you complained about? Donald Trump is telling you that I'm going to use the Justice Department to go after Hillary. But he also said that if you people in Connecticut don't vote for me and I lose, I'm going to remember you. So that means he'll use that same Justice Department to go after Americans. You know, you stupid Iowans, when Donald Trump doesn't feel like he has your attention and the support that he thinks he should have, what makes you think he's going to be hesitant on a resident if he's not hesitant on a person running for president? What makes you think you're safe from this dude? He's telling you, I'm going to squash the media. I'm going to squash Hillary. But all you emotional, ridiculous people out there going, yeah, get Hillary. Do you understand what kind of leverage or key you are giving to this dude? And anybody else that's not afraid of this? The gorilla in the room is Donald Trump is Hitler. Or Hitler-esque. And his supporters are brown shirtish. They are willing to circumvent somebody's rights for whatever political gain. But here's the funniest part about his judgment. Is he says you would be in jail if he was in charge of the Justice Department. What about him? He's going to use the Justice Department to do what? Squash all of his issues. This man has rape charges from children pending against him just because this legal system put his stuff off until after the election. Don't forget, lack of transparency, a political advantage. They are not letting you be transparent with Trump. So was he going to use this Justice Department to cover up his shenanigans? See, the gorilla in the room is his judgment. Her judgment that this pot calling the kettle black, and of course he's not going to like me because I use him in black and call him pot and all this kind of stuff. But the point is, his judgment is to be a hypocrite. Like his stuff is all clean. His judgment is to say, I just had locker room talk. Bill Clinton locked her in a room. They're both perverts. See, they're running for president of the United States. P-O-T-S, but the P is for pervert. They're both perverted. Hillary Clinton kills people. Donald Trump supports her after she kills people. And they're perverting the whole American electorate system so that liberalism can prevail. The P is for pervert. They're both pervs. How is Donald Trump going to point out her judgment when her judgment was good enough? What? I support political candidates so I can get what I want. But then he wants to act like he's not doing anything. I'm doing something noble. No, you're doing something selfish. And you're playing on the stupidity of the American voter that's all caught up because you were so popular from firing and hiring people on a reality TV show. And Miss Weeble Wobble over there, her judgment's no better. Who does she choose as friends? Donald Trump is her friend. Here, what did he say at the end of this? This is so telling that they're in the bed together. They're in collusion over the American people. And their number one tool is confusion, misdirection. And they got the black pervert over there, Herman Cain, covering up for the white orange pervert. Don't forget, Herman Cain quit on the American people because of some perversion. Cheating on his wife and all those kind of accusations. He quit. He is a loser when it comes to presidential politics, but you guys are listening to this loser so he can tell you how to win. And he's protecting the orange pervert. But here's how you can tell that they're in collusion, that they're together on this thing. What did you admire about each other? Hillary Clinton says, I admire my nieces and nephews, his children. They call him Aunt Hillary and Uncle Bill. He talks to Bill Clinton while Donald Trump wants to say he's on the airplane with Loretta Lynch. Well, guess what? He was in a meeting with you before he ran for president. All you're telling him is, hey, Bill, you know I'm going to have to slap your wife around a little bit, man. Hey, but this okay. We slap women around all the time. And I'm watching Republicans. I'm watching Donald Trump's wife stand by her man while he's out there being king ding-a-ling pervert, grabbing people's coochie parts, pulling them around, kissing people because he's got money. And I'm watching his wife do a Hillary Clinton, stand by her man. I'm watching Republicans and Christians do the same thing that you complained about being done for Bill Clinton. Oh, all I did is locker room talk. No, you're running for president of the United States. We're not asking you to be the cheerleader for the Green Bay Packers. But then you ask him, what do you admire about Hillary? Isn't she unfit? Isn't she weak? No, she's strong. She doesn't quit. Why? That's why he funded her, guys, because she's strong and she doesn't quit. She doesn't give up. That's why he endorses her. That's why he funds her. But the stupidity of the American voter, the emotions of patriots, the over-emotions of Christians, and the rhino ridiculousness of Republicans don't want to address the elephant in the room, that Hillary Clinton's judgment was good enough for Donald Trump's money. Isn't he a brilliant businessman? Isn't that the art of the deal? Does he always come out on top? He loses money, he's brilliant. He loses $1 billion, he's brilliant. If he funds Hillary, he must have thought he was brilliant. Where did this thing all of a sudden change? And Hillary Clinton loves every single one of his liberal Democrat children. That he made sure that they do not have the scarlet letter of R next to them. They're in this thing together, people. And if you could not see that from the debate, well, you keep stepping in that elephant dung and let that gorilla keep slapping you with his banana peels. America's done unless you wake up now. Hey, I'm Phil Williams. That's my response to a tweet on the Phil Williams Show.